Okay.
If you'll all join me. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Beautiful. I move to approve the agenda with one addition for the executive session. I need, 14.3 legal. And just a question about a legal issue, it's kind of going to executive session. All those in favor? Aye, thank you. Move to approve the board's second regular meeting minutes for August 19th, 2025.
I just had two spelling corrections. And it wasn't Chris. Let's see. It's Brittany, 6.1. He's 717, it's Brittany, Delacia. Brittany, and then at the very end of 6, right before 7, it's to set a timed meeting. I believe that's counted. That would be my bad.
Anybody know Christopher Peters?
No.
Can you ask him to please provide an address?
Yeah.
He might be Joey Gibbers' son. I'm 87.
I don't know Joe Peters either.
I'm gonna get out first.
Huh?
Tom Gibbers.
Oh, Tommy. I have no idea who that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lives
It's all right, we'll figure it out, man. Okay.
I think that's.
All right, anybody else on the minutes? Seeing no, and hearing no more discussion, all those in favor of approval? Thank you.
Oh, here we go again. We know Charles Smith. And Abby, this is a Zoom bomb. When they come in, boom, 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 boom.
Well, what's Abby's last name?
She's
in the,
She's okay.
Is that Abby?
She's the, going to be joining Executive Farm, and she said she was gonna join remotely.
Okay.
You should copy and paste that, Christopher, and just please provide your address. Just please provide your address.
Oh, yes,
Well, you figure this out, please, any audience, citizen, anything that's not on the agenda? Yes, the woman in the neon. State your name for us.
Sally Robinson, 26 Lake Road. Steve, I wanna publicly apologize to you, for interrupting your peace at home at an inappropriate hour, and thank you for your kindness in entertaining my concern, over the demolition of trees on Lake Road. I wanna, follow up with that, a little bit about my thinking about it. Eversource comes through Lake Road on a regular basis, not a 4-year, 5-year rotation cycle, because it is a hot spot. Power goes down there frequently. So, we are kind of solicited, if you will, get the knock on the door as frequently as for Frontier or for solar panels by Eversource. And we've experienced all different types of level of expression with whoever happens to have that job of confronting us. In this particular round, my feeling was that the foreman on the job may have represented the property owner's ability to prevent removal in a way that was very different than other times. He used language such as liability, which made some property owners fear leaving those trees, is my feeling about it and my experience. Next to us, a tree that we were told an arborist looked at went down, and it took them an entire week to drop that tree. And while they put things in the chipper that I am not aware if there had been any rot in them, not small branches, every single thing that was lying there for our neighbor to cut up and take away, there was absolutely zero evidence of any rot in this, what was formerly a majestic tree. The tree was not encroaching on the power lines. They have what I read is 20 feet above, 10 feet below, 8 feet to either side of their lines. It was leaning towards the road. I'm disappointed in the arborist. To me, this is light on the arborist record. If someone actually did look at it, I might as well have looked at it, because the call would have been accurate, you know, and without any experience. There was nothing that indicated that that tree wasn't sound. Further, what's bothering me about this is I didn't see this coming. Last year, at exactly this time, it was actually June, through the month of June, May and June, they did limbing. It's not a lot of foresight to do limbing one year and come and fell those trees the next year if you're looking at the money aspect. So, you know, looking at the way Eversource approaches it, you'd never guess that they're gonna limb one year, come through and drop those same trees they just got finished limbing. So it was not expected by us that we would even see them again. And you don't have that opportunity to save a tree. The process of saving the tree, which these are on public property, not private, largely, there's a 20-foot berth there from the road in. Our trees that my husband and I have pruned professionally on a regular basis to prevent this are town trees. I would like to see, that we hear that this is coming, much in the way, on Columbia Road. And we knew when Spectrum was coming through or whatever, and then when there's somebody in your driveway at 3 AM, you understand why. I didn't read anything that said they were coming, that might be my error, but I don't know where I would have looked. So I did not know that they were coming, I did not know it was felling trees, that this wasn't, that this was a mighty operation. I did not see any trees marked, because the mark is in dark blue, it is the size of, I don't know, silver dollar on the tree with vegetation around it. You don't have any indication that this is happening. So, for one, I'd like to be forewarned. The tree that came down happens to be at my neighbor's frontage. They're a young couple. They've got a for sale sign in front of their house. They signed a paper basically thinking it was an acknowledgement, and they have no choice because it's not their property. They didn't know they could do anything to protect that tree. They knew we all liked it. They didn't think that they were the ones signing away on it. So that's a concern. And also, it's our town beautification. There's not one tree in the entire town that's more important than any standing structure. No one's dwelling, no one's no public building. There's no tree that's that level of importance, but they all create a beauty in our town. And if we have a tree warden, I would hope that that tree warden could go down Lake Road or the 3 roads. I hear there's 3 in this felling cycle. Go down that road and earmark 4 trees that we wanna keep. There's 4 or 5 trees on every road that are beautiful, majestic, 200-year-old trees that really make a difference in the way we feel about our town. So I would ask for something, you know, for us to think about it, how can we approach this? Because Eversource can't just single-handedly come through, and they can't. They're not supposed to cut trees that they don't have a reason to cut. Thank you.
First of all, you didn't bother me. Okay, you called and you had a concern, so I don't mind. And I will in, you know, rules of order and stuff. But I also looked at that tree, and because I'm not a professional, I'm not an arborist or anything, I did call the tree ward, and she looked at it and said, yeah, the tree probably didn't need to come down in her opinion, but because they had already took off heavy limbs on one side and the rest of the tree was over the road. There may have been, all I know is I have to listen to the people that have more knowledge than I do, so. But I also have listened to you, and we will call Eversource, we have a representative. They're supposed to have concern for the town and take our suggestions and stuff. I think it's also a very good idea, we have a tree warden, and the day that they're coming through, their arborist comes through, I don't know. We usually do find out that they're gonna travel on specific places and fell the trees. But I don't see when their arborist comes out, if they couldn't meet our tree warden, and they could go down a road or two or three and have them go that tree, that tree, that tree, no, not that tree, because that tree looks good, and da. So, we'll put in a call to everyone.
There's one right at the top of Jeff's Road that's gonna come down this week, and it was gorgeous.
So Jeff Lewis, 2 Lakewoods Lane, also the fire chief. I understand what she's talking about where that tree is. That part of Lake Road is not the part of Lake Road that always gets demoed anytime we get wind. It's in front of 80 Lake Road. The dead trees do sit back off the road. So, but they are dead, and they are so dead, just waiting for a good windstorm so we can go again and shut down Lake Road in that area because the trees are dead. So.
Yeah, but chief, if they're not on. Well, I guess we could talk to Eversource to ask them about those trees. We can get somebody out there to meet them and point at them for them. Because it does cause, in your opinion, causes the outages because of the trees falling, the limbs and stuff. So that would give us the ability to say to Eversource, listen, we're gonna pinpoint where we feel is the worst location. We have that because I'm the fire chief and I have history of it.
Mhm.
And the bottom line is, we'd like you to take those. And if they say, well, they're on people's private property, yes. But it comes down on your lines and it
Right.
affects your customers, so it would behoove you to take those down. If the homeowner would allow you to do that, so.
Just like that, Cherry Valley Road, up at the top by where the power lines are, there's dead trees in there that every time we get a windstorm. We're in these areas, we've tried to have meetings with them, and we have another one, but. We know where we go all the time because we're looking at the dead trees, and we're just like, oh, we'll come back again, let's see how many more pickles they can put in the power lines. It's like a game, so.
Alright, well, I appreciate your input here.
Thank you.
Anybody else, audience or citizen, not on the agenda? Seeing none. Old business, we have a continued discussion on the speed cameras, it's come to my attention that, we have an alternative. Plan? Anybody? Discussion?
But just mention some little thoughts.
Yeah, I was just concerned that this kind of came as a surprise to me, last month that we were doing this, and I know it had been in the works I understand it in the works for a number of months. And I just, at this point in time, I think it's premature to go this route. I would rather, in researching this whole thing, I had checked out a number of towns and they have traffic safety or noise committees. And I'd like to get a committee involved and explore the speed issue. One of the major concerns I have is that we hear about the speed cameras, but they're gonna be on 66 and 87, but they really don't address the secondary roads. And that's part of the problem that we had last week. We had these gentlemen come in from Whitney Road talking about the problem, but this doesn't even touch that. There also was a discussion about speed bumps and various types of things. I mean, obviously, I'm not an expert in any of this stuff either, but I believe there's alternatives to where you can have temporary speed bumps that you can have during the warm season and take it out in the winter and have that. All I'm suggesting is that we have a lot of talent in this town. You have retired police officers, you have engineers. I know a gentleman by the lake who's an accident reconstruction expert. So you have a lot of expertise in this town. And I would prefer at this point, rather than rushing into submitting this to a town meeting or drafting an ordinance, that we explore it further. And perhaps maybe cameras are the solution, but at this point in time, I'm not really comfortable, going forward with it.
Okay, well, I appreciate you sharing that. I honestly, I'm not in any rush, I don't have any problem. Putting a committee together of people who have interest, people who have more depth and knowledge than I do, and been out on the road as police officers or engineers and stuff. I don't have a problem with that. I'd like to see different answers. Other than the ones that I get from. Department of Public Works officials in different towns on the speed bumps and stuff. You know, one of the things about the speed cameras on the highways, 87 and 66, it frees up the one trooper we have. To go to Whitney Road or other roads. I mean, I was. I'm heading to the transfer station on Saturday. And car just went off Mock Road down there, and I knew that I would see them at the transfer station, and they were almost done throwing their stuff out when I pulled in. After going down to 6 and 66 and taking the left down there, taking my time, watching this, you know, maybe 5 miles over the speed limit, but they were almost done throwing their trash out by the time I got in there. And so I knew they were flying. So I agree, there may be some things out there. I have no problem with this committee.
I mean, I agree, I think we should try to figure out how to slow the traffic down all over town and not just two locations. In a committee, I think it could be very helpful, yeah, there's gotta be some other ideas people come up with. On how to control that.
Yeah.
I think as a committee, it would very likely be that maybe there's a need for another resident trooper. I mean, that could be one of those solutions that they recommend.
Yeah.
But I would like to get other people involved in the process and kind of slow it down a little bit. I felt that this was moving pretty quickly to my liking.
Yeah, I agree. Least,
Well, at $180,000 for a second resident trooper, I'd want cameras up to help pay me for help pay for that, but we'll talk about it at the committee.
So considering that I only have 4 meetings left,
Yeah. What?
and you do, yeah, 4 meetings.
You said it with joy.
I wouldn't mind pushing it off till after, so the next person's. Questions, one way or the other.
No,
speeding is an issue, but how do you resolve it?
You know what I mean? And I like.
well, I know what you're saying, and I know what you mean by saying it.
Yeah, I think that, you know, if somebody makes that decision, they can deal with it, or I'd walk away and say, oh, well. So I'm just, it kind of didn't sit right with me that I only have 4 and I'd be voting on it. So,
Mr. Lent, any input?
I like the idea.
So I move
Yeah.
to create a, what do we call it, traffic and speed subcommittee. To look into the problems of the rate of
Speeding.
speed and, you know, in our town and possible solutions. All those in favor? Aye. Now let's set some ground rules for that. How many people on it?
Should we throw it out there for interest and then,
I know I saw somebody said, can we,
oh, Millie wants to be on.
no, Millie just got her hand.
Oh, that's my hand. Well, Millie almost got out of the video.
Billy's the chairperson.
I know Kristen asked who can volunteer for the committee, so, well. We need to get the word to the people who are not just those who are walking on the roads or live on those roads and see. We also need to get the engineers, the state troopers that are retired officers. People who have different input. You know, I'm all for listening to the people. But as we see in some of the meetings, some of the people who are also concerned don't make the meetings and are not heard, so I'd like to get the word out.
You want a general charge to the committee to evaluate?
Yeah, let's worry about that, let's get the word out. We can put something on.
Yeah, and then we can create a charge. I could come up with some charge examples from other towns that I'm sure this is a common.
Yeah.
process.
Sure it is.
All right,
Every town, you know.
all right, thank you.
Okay. Good.
Further discussion on facilities repairs and capital transfer funding and setting a town meeting for authorization. Last 2 weeks ago, we were in there, Mr. Donovan was here. He was telling us about the HVAC system over in the senior center, also about the furnace in the senior center that needed repair or replacement. We also looked at helping out the chapel with an HVAC small system, but it would allow them to continue to do their fundraising and probably keep the moisture and stuff at a level that would help protect the books instead of adding to the problem over there. And the electrical services at Zegda Farm, which I attended. I told you last week I attended a potluck over there. And there was no pot and the luck wasn't that good because people were asking me about the water situation. There was no lucky water, but we're working on it, so we'll talk about that. So in here, it's in here, right?
Yes, after the blue there.
Okay, so we talked about it last week about the HVAC costs at the senior center. We had 3 bids, one for 40-something thousand, one for 65, and one for 300 and something thousand.
That is correct, 318,000, yes.
Okay. So I think, I don't know, we'd have to, did we vote on which one we
I
wanted?
like the 65,000 last week.
Okay. And the senior center furnace replacement, now the estimated cost to repair that furnace is $10,000. They could repair that thing for $10,000 and something else could break on it the next day, right?
Very true. It's an old furnace.
It's an old furnace, excellent. And a replacement would be approximately $24,500.
Yes,
Okay. And replacement at the chapel was $10,500. We looked at a cheaper,
a tot soot, yes.
we looked at a cheaper model, relatively new to the marketplace. Would cost about $3,500, but it has no history. It has no, I mean, it's made in it's made in China. I talked to one person who has it, they're very happy with it, but you know, parts and it just has no history, and I don't want to spend $3,500 of the town's money and just not be able to fix it if it breaks.
And add 1,000 for the electrical hookup. So it'd probably be about 4,000, 4,500 installed.
We need another 1,000 for the 10.5
No, if you went with the tot soot,
existing.
yes.
Yeah, okay. So I would I feel better going with the. They're fantastic. I like them. They do very well at my house. And we'll kind of go through these all, and then to install electrical service at Segner Farm. Now, we had solar up there. It didn't pull enough power to be able to work the pump.
Yes, the solar deteriorates over time, so the system is not as efficient as it was when installed, number one. And number two, the pump is worn out, so you would have had to replace the whole solar system again. And it was, the draw of those pumps is not terrific. They wear out. They're made for a field in Nebraska where no one's gonna be around for a week to water the cattle, basically. You know, it was proposed and I love the idea that we put a regular well pump in there with power. You'll always have a water supply, which you can fill your reservoir, your 1,200 gallon tank. Just leave it in there, and if your hurricane comes through for a week, they can draw from there. Not a problem. And if we wire that correctly, which it is, in theory, we can bring a generator to that place and run the pump for short periods of time, 120 volt pump. And you know, water the garden in a catastrophe.
Should we have a storm that we lose power?
Yes,
Because you told me that when the people said we need water in that tank, I went to the fire department.
it's full. Yep, it is full.
And a few days after, they filled it. But you also, I talked to you the next day and you said we may be able to fill it via a generator.
That is correct.
Okay.
So,
But right now, we're looking to hook it up for $5,000 cost.
yes, that should be all inclusive.
So to pay for those $105,000 worth of work, we took money from the box culvert repair where we estimated about 270,000. I know the numbers aren't correct. I'm throwing them out there. And we're gonna be able to save 113,000 is my guess. Is that correct?
Yes,
All right, well, that's pretty good. 113,000 on that.
That's
So
what's
we
left.
remove transfer money from that over to these repairs in the HVACs and these and electrical work in these 4 different areas. So let's talk about that a little bit. Questions? So it's my intention is to make a motion to set up town meeting to appropriate and transfer $105,000 out of a capital fund from the box culvert over to the facilities capital improvement fund. It would take care of the senior HVAC project, senior center furnace replacement, the heat pump and air conditioning system at the chapel, and the installation of the electrical services at Executive Farm to run the water. Okay, questions, no comments? Wonderful, that's exactly what I'm gonna do then. I move to set up a town meeting on Tuesday, September 16th. 2025 at 6:45 PM in the Adela G. Urban Conference Room, 323 Route 87, Columbia, Connecticut, for the following purpose, says. Clause 1. Oh, should I talk about the other thing?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I guess I should, I'm sorry, I'm going to. Motion's off the table now, we have another thing, I'm sorry. I get on a roll here, so. To appropriate and transfer 50,000 from the general fund to the facilities capital improvement fund buildings. For roof repair at the Department of Public Works garage and the replacement of a fire detection system at the Columbia Volunteer Fire Department building. That's like a fire detection at the firehouse. So. Okay. Mr. Donnie, you talked to us about the roof repair at Public Works, and you're telling me that that money's gonna handle that?
Yes, yes, it should. They're gonna, screw all the screws, glue the seams, then coat the entire roof with a rubberized paint, which should take care of everything. We have various leaks there which spring up and manifest in different locations depending on the wind.
Is that the old one? The old building?
That is the older, yeah, the garage building on the roof.
And there was insulation on the sides where it destroyed, needs to be replaced.
So
It's included in that? I'm sorry, Drew.
well, it's,
I apologize.
That 32,000 includes the installation?
Yes,
Okay.
is that the town crew's gonna do the work, or are we hiring somebody,
this would be a contract.
a contractor? So did we get more than one bid on that, or?
We did, yeah, yes, we did. I called 3 roofers. It's been a pandemic where some contractors will not call me back. This business is good. But so we called 3, I got 2. MJT from Columbia was the third, 29 or 32.
Okay.
Klaus Roofing Systems was 96,000 for same treatments.
And then the fire, replacing the fire detection, same thing, with your other people or your contract?
No, I did not, because we are basically proprietary with FASD at this point in time. We report, all of our systems report to them. We are wired into that one company. To do that, we would need to most likely carry over all the other buildings if we switch vendors.
Oh, so we've already got an agreement with.
Jeff and you did reach out to other vendors and verify
Yeah, did some research, yeah.
what FASD is saying is correct and that the system is obsolete and has to be replaced.
Fire alarm system is truly only good between 20 and 25 years. Since COVID, most systems that are older than 15, they're not producing parts anymore. So I actually called 3 different fire alarm companies. Because just frugal. And I said, this is what I got for a make and model. This is what's going on. They're like, how old is it? I go, oh, 22 years. Coming on 23, he goes, you got your money's worth out of it. And so, and literally we band-aided it almost 3 years ago with the junction box between the heat detectors and the smoke detectors. And now I get messages 2, 3, 4 in the morning. It's just a trouble alarm. It doesn't start the fire department. It's a trouble alarm. It loses communications. And we can't get parts for it. And what's gonna happen is just more and more of the heads are gonna start tripping troubles. And then they'll start tripping regular alarms. So
Sounds like it needs to be replaced.
Well, the building is 20, coming on 23 years old, and things are starting to show the age, so.
Okay, any more discussion on it? So now I move to set a town meeting. Tuesday, September 16th, 6:45 P.M. Here for the following purposes, to appropriate and transfer $105,000 from the capital account 20-6187-004 box culvert repair, replacement and repair, to capital account 20-6206-002 facilities capital improvement buildings to fund the following capital projects: senior center HVAC project, senior center fire furnace replacement, the heat pump and air conditioning system at the chapel, and the installation of electrical services at Zegda Farm. Clause 2, to appropriate and transfer $50,000 from the general fund to capital account 20-6206-002 facilities capital improvement buildings to fund the following capital projects: roof repair at the Department of Public Works garage and replacement of the fire detection system at the Columbia Fire Volunteer Fire Department building. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye. Meeting is set. No new business. No Columbia Lake.
Wish you all a terrific evening.
Thanks, Ben.
Have a great.
Hope be done again. Got it. Appointments, resignations, recommendation to approve continued employment of the facilities maintainer position. Nevin Dishaw, having successfully completed the probationary period. So he can.
I guess Nevin doesn't get.
He's a good kid, he does good work. I move to accept the recommendation of Nevin Dishaw's satisfactory completion of the probationary period resulting in full-time employment. Any discussion? He does good work, he's a good kid. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Thank you. I move to appoint Abby Uniello to the Zegda Farm Management Committee. Abby, you're on. Why?
Yes, I am.
Why do you wanna be
Hello.
on?
It's good to
Why do
meet you
wanna be
all.
on?
What was that?
Why do you wanna be on this? There's no
Well-
water up there. It's cool.
This isn't a revolt about the water situation, by the way. No, I would like to be on this committee because this is my first year at the community garden, and it's just been such a wonderful experience and such a great source of community. And I really just want to, give back and kind of be an active participant in the things that go on there.
Yeah, fantastic. I met Abby when you guys had the potluck, and I gotta tell you, if you've never been up there, I don't care if you grow stuff, I mean, it's easy to go to a stand and get nice vegetables and stuff now. But it's also nice to have a garden, and we allow, how many do we have up there? Like 16 to 20 different plot areas up there for people to farm?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, it's, you walk through there, is that really, it's amazing.
Very custom sign.
Yeah, they custom signs it, get up there,
Nice.
walk through there, take grandkids through there. Pick a tomato, I'm sure they won't yell at you, nobody come after you, but it's very nice and,
Oh, I don't know about that.
Perfect tomato.
just don't take the first one, that's what I meant, a cherry tomato.
Don't pick.
So Abby, I'm gonna vote yes for you, I feel like Simon Cowell, I'm gonna vote yes, but, I wanna thank you. Because, we look around at our committees and stuff, and usually you need to show your AARP card to get on a committee, but, we appreciate it, you guys do a great job up there, so,
Thank you.
anybody else? Great, all those in favor?
I,
Opposed? Thank you, you're in,
Thank you.
you're up.
Oh, good news, we have a new president of Little League. His name is Dr. Garrett Duquette. And he's a retired principal who's now selling training systems to schools through Franklin Covey. So he's very enthusiastic about being involved. I met with Pete Donick and Garrett. He also still needs to meet with Jake on vacation, and with Beth Lunt. And we'll also make sure he's tied in with the school system. So had a great conversation about the new dugouts we're building and planning when he wants to start some little league practices for fall ball. So that's good. And next, I've had a chance to follow with Bill, but what was brought up at the 2 meetings about what will happen on the sharp curve at Pine Street where that beaver pond is really that I think the owner, which is Charles Canedy, Kennedy, he's getting ready to prepare his dike or his method of holding back that beaver pond because it's leaking. So we put him on notice. And I saw some survey tape and all in that whole area. So he's hired someone to cut down across that whole berm. That was Public Works. But we did do some weed control and guardrails. And finally, Bill, did you have anything more?
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Finally, I'm working on a new grant, just came to my attention. It literally just came out last week. So we'll be having, I've got the application working with Jen and working with Beth Lunt and also our engineering firm, but it's a rural tribal assistance pilot program grant. The grant opens up at 2 p.m. on September 8th. First come, first serve. The projects we're gonna propose are, and these grants are for reimbursement of design costs. So we're gonna propose Mock Road and Edgerton Road, which are the last 2 culverts that were notified as being something that needs to a redo. So
So the grant is for
engineering,
engineering and design costs?
yes. And the program will award grants for either hiring of staff or procurement of expert firms to provide financial, technical, legal assistance and project-related planning and design-based activities.
How much is the grant?
Minimum grant, they'll accept 2 projects and they have to total at least 250,000. So these 2 culverts will come above that range.
Okay. So this is just for the design.
Correct, but that's always the first part of fixing a culvert. We have Pine Street and Thompson Hill. Those designs are ready to go out to bid shortly. And we already got proposals for the 2, we just slip line, I'm blanking what they're called. We're in the process of slip line 2 other culverts.
Yeah.
Thompson Hill and Mott? No, I said.
Chestnut.
Chestnut.
Little Manic and
Oh,
Chestnut.
Yeah, that's it. We'll manage separate. So I just tell the board that I'm gonna, with your approval, go after these grants. That's all I have to.
Okay, now for finance, so transfers, I move to approve the transfer of $401 as presented.
It was a confusing legal notice. We found in
There was a late bill came in, so it caused me to go over that by $101 for last year. Cross your fingers, this is the last one.
Okay, any discussion, all those in favor? Aye.
This was better for 2024, but yes, it's all last year. Okay, hopefully it's last one.
I move to approve refunds totaling $347.21.
gave you the number. That's it.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Payment of bill. I move to approve the payment of bills totaling $162,968.40, consisting of 24-25 regular, 25-26 emergency, 25-26 regular, credit card, and paycheck. Good question. 2 weeks ago, we authorized refunds in the amount of $1,500, $1,567, oh. $1,567. So this, I see a refund of $5,200, see a refund of $33,700, and I see a refund of $4,000. That's 7 and 5, that's 12, $13,000 on the first 2 pages, but we only authorized 1,500.
So those have to do with the issue that was covered, since a couple, early in middle August,
Okay,
where there was,
yeah, I understand, we had an issue with the bank, okay.
so that's what these are.
Sorry.
These, so,
Oh, there's a lot more on that page.
yeah. So those
Okay,
have-
so, but they don't have to be, we don't have to,
They're basically, it's not the taxpayers overpayment, it was an error on the town side, so it's with them. Cause there is. The town took twice, the system took it twice,
Right.
essentially. So instead of doing the refund process, it was decided to, let's just make the residents have to get their refunds to them.
okay,
That-
we're all good with it.
Yes.
Okay. Great. We have to pay the state dog fees? It's their portion.
An annual payment,
Jesus.
yeah. We want to take that for licensing a dog, he said. That's their cost.
Any discussion? All those in favor of paying the bills?
Aye.
Audience of citizens. Nobody? Okay, thank you very much, and board member comments?
One, so. You piqued my interest with that whole thing on the corner of Pine Street. The guardrail spraying this year. Kind of excessive. And. They seem to go overboard, I mean, the state doesn't even do that much, but I wanted to point out that a lot of those guardrails are over culverts and protecting the divots and stuff. If they're using Roundup or any of the glyphosates, it's a phosphate that's going straight into the lake. That they are a phosphate, they are organophosphates. And you should check what they're using, because we have a phosphorus problem in the lake, or at least we're told we do. So we might want to be a little more prudent in what we're using, or
Why don't we, instead of,
just,
I
they might have.
don't
been
just
using
wanna
something-
worry about the future, can we find out what we did?
I know we did. And it's a DEP watershed spray. And we. Public Works went with them, and they're supposed to turn it on to the guardrail, but off over water sources. So. In some cases, you can see where maybe it didn't get turned off as quickly as it should.
Oh, my, it was over on the Hunt Road, as well, I believe.
Right.
I mean, I'm just, wow, and of course it takes takes a week or two for it really to show up, but it, you know, you get also the runoff, so you get a little rain, it goes down and kills it a little bit more. I would be curious what they're using, whether DEP proves it or not is one thing, whether or not it's a phosphorus based weed killer is another.
Okay.
So, just thought.
Good point.
And then I saw there was brush hog work. And it does, so last year I went sledding with my grandchildren and so the farm, which is a lot of fun. And there were roses at the bottom of the hill that they had cut, but if they can get in there and cut and clean that up now, they'll knock them back hard. I should have said it last month, but just about.
I mean, they need to be cut
It's
shorter.
multifloral rose, so if they can kill, if you cut them August, September, they starve to death over time. If you can do it at the beginning of August, that's ideal. I meant to say something, but I forgot. But
We want the roses?
they're multifloral, they're evil.
Wow.
Besides which, when you go sledding through them, you know, some of the branches are still on the ground, and if there's not enough snow, we can get some thorns.
Right.
I gotta tell you, that's a great hill. That is a wonderful place.
Very good. So this time I'm going to suspend the Board of Selectmen meeting and I move to enter an executive session at 8:47, no, excuse me, 7:47. And invite Mark Wall, the town administrator, to stay and join us. All those others, thanks very much.
Bye.
I haven't seen it.
Bye, Abby, bye, Kristen.
Hi.
Bye, Millie.
Bye now.